In Vietnam, 67.8% of the population is of the working age, providing an abundant and high potential labor force. However, the proportion of skilled workers with certificates was only around 23% in the country, and over 60% of jobs were in the agricultural and informal sectors, with low labor productivity. With Vietnam's rapidly deeper integration with the world economy, quality, sustainability, and highly competitive human resources are a matter of great concern to many businesses. How can businesses address the issue of high-quality workforce shortage? And what values would it bring when companies invest in the labor force with a long-term view?
Welcome everyone to the video sharing the real-life story by the business who making impact by investing in education for workforce in Vietnam. This is one of 5 video clips capturing the real story of businesses who making social, economic, and environmental impacts in Vietnam. This is the part and ahead of Forbes Impact Business Summit, which is organized in September 22nd this year in Ho Chi Minh City by Forbes Vietnam in association with Liên Center. Welcome, gentlemen, to our show today. We would discuss and I think would celebrate the role of investment in manpower in Vietnam as core business principle. But let's just start. I would like to say that in Vietnam, we have this interesting term. Education 1.0 is to educate. Education 2.0 is to employ. Education 3.0 is to create knowledge. And we are here right now in Education 4.0 to create value. And that's why today we believe that investing in manpower workforce is actually to create future value for Vietnam and for business. Everybody know that. But we do have challenge in Vietnam. First thing is, Vietnam, we've been coined, branded more like a cheap labor. We have low productivity. And of course, from that point, maybe we need to do a lot more to create value. And then the market is hard to predict. The manpower is pretty diversified. So it's also hard for investor to make a decision to invest, whether it's high or low return on investment, where we get the productivity going up. So we have Mr. Trần Trọng Kiên, Chairman and CEO of the Thiên Minh Group. And we have Mr. Heiko Kohlenbecker from Bosch Vietnam. Your title is Commercial Vice President, Bosch Vietnam. What do you think about the picture I just sketched a little bit? Do you agree with me? And what do you think, how is it relevant to your industry?
Yes, I absolutely agree to this one. I personally believe, in general, that learning and personal development are parts of a lifelong endeavor that nobody from ever should stop. And when we talk about business and company management, then we clearly have to say that personal development is an absolutely crucial factor for the long-term success, especially for companies like Bosch that operate in high tech and especially in such crazy and volatile times that we're living in at the moment. And that's why Bosch, since the establishment over 15 years ago, we have a strong focus on the development of our talents here in Vietnam. And the good news is that we find here a very people which are highly willing to learn and eager to develop themselves to achieve the next level. This is really a great circumstances. And that's why I'm also pretty proud that we were very successful over the last years to develop our own talents. And we are highly motivated to continue this great work here in Vietnam in the next years.
That's wonderful. Thank you. And I just want to add a little bit. You mentioned that you're in the manufacturing industry, where in every report every year, we really are impressed about how much in Vietnam lack of high-skilled worker. And that's why you already mentioned that in Vietnam, most of the workers willing to learn, they're eager to learn. And that's part of the reason why you can actually go through this challenge, but actually gained a lot of advantage out of it.
Agree, definitely.
Thank you very much. And then Mr. Kiên, you also work in the most challenging industry, especially with COVID. It's new in Vietnam before COVID, but very challenging during and after COVID. What do you think about the picture that we can paint in sketches?
I think this is very important for the country like Vietnam, where we're in a growing state. And among the few industries that Vietnam can have high impact, I think it should be the tourism and travel and tourism industry would be a very high impact industries. Prior to COVID, the industry was growing massive from, I think, 2010 to 2019. The industry actually doubled in size. But the productivity level have only increased by 5%. There was some disparity there, and there would need more investment and focus of businesses. If eventually you want to have a growth industry, at the same time, the lot of the people in the industry will be improved, and that is the productivity level. So I think COVID had allowed the industry to be rebooted and to restart it, and it's a great opportunity to restructure it to grow. And TMG will do the same. We believe that it's a good time for us to look and refocus and be able to grow. It's not just grow for the sake of growth, but grow for the benefit and the good of the community and society.
I would like to bring in the concept that Forbes Vietnam, in association with Liên Center, mentioned today as a whole summit, impact business. What do you think about impact business? In the introduction video, we already hear the explanation saying that impact business is different from CSR. CSR might address some of the obligation, social obligation by businesses. But impact business actually makes sure that all the good work, all the impact go together within the business operation. But I prefer the term business DNA. How is reflecting all the great and impact into business gene. What do you think? What business, impact business in your mind? And if you can give me 3 keywords to describe it, that would be nice.
So from our perspective, impact business is when you give a positive impact to at least one of your share on stakeholder of your organization. And we at Bosch, we take this responsibility that we have even beyond the regular term of business in a sense of making profit. And when you ask me about 3 key words, then first I would say the Boschlers. That term is basically how we call our associates at Bosch, and they are really the heart and core of our company. This is really our biggest asset. That's why we address a lot of measures to them. We take care of them with our traditional employee-oriented culture that we have at Bosch. And our commitment is very, very clear, that we grow together, that we inspire each other, and that we enjoy working together.
That's great.
The second word that I would mention is invented for life. So Invented for Life is basically our vision statement that we have at Bosch, and describes pretty good the higher purpose of our company: to invent and provide high quality products, services and solutions for our customers to make the life of the people and to the society a better one. And the last, but definitely not least one, is the sustainability. We at Bosch really believe that real success is just success what is sustainable. And that means in a aspect of economical reasons, of course, but at least equally social responsibilities and also the environment has to be there. And these 3 aspects has to be in balance, and that's what we address with every strategy and every business decision that we apply at Bosch. And I can also, for example, quote our CEO, Stefan Hartung, who mentioned some months ago that a company shouldn't have to choose between being profitable and rescuing the planet, but the right path is set when both goes hand in hand. We believe very strongly at Bosch in this approach.
So, Anh Kiên, what do you think? What is the impact business in your mind, and what is your favorite 3 keywords?
At TMG, we believe that whatever we do would not only good for our shareholders, but also good for the community, for the environment around us. The 3 keywords we always preaching within TMG, especially for the last few. First would be the health. We believe that a very healthy team would be very, very important, not only physically healthy, but also mentally healthy. So the environment we're creating has to be the best possible. We also believe that we can actually make our guests who come to our stay in a hotel, who fly our airplane, or he actually interacting with us through the platform that we built, are also very, very healthy. And we want to make sure that also our businesses are actually there for a long time. So this is healthy businesses, supporting a healthy communities and healthy environment. The second word is important for our TMG is our kindness. We also believe that we should act kind as possible to each other within the business so that they actually love to come to work. And the second thing is we also act as kind as possible to our guests and treat them like family and friends whenever they go to our property and hotels. And the third word is very important, growth. We're operating in countries where growth is very important to create new opportunities. So we believe everyone in the business should be growing with the businesses. We also believe that each business should be growing over the years so that we can actually have more impact to bigger communities and to other parts of the world. So this is the three words, again, health, kindness, and growth.
I would love to hear from both of you, gentlemen. We already well define impact business, but where manpower in impact business, does it differ from manpower in normal business or traditional business?
We don't call it manpower or human resources. We call it our people team. We also believe that we actually do whatever we can to stay healthy at the team. And to be healthy means that you actually go to work and enjoy the environment, to be able to interact and with the boss or the whoever in the company in the same way that you interact with the best friends. You spend more time at work than you spend time at other places. So I think this an important thing in our people team would be equality. So we always believe at DMG that everyone is equal. So even that because of the job nature, it could be a security guard, or you could be a housekeeper, or you could be a receptionist in one of our hotel, or it could be a strategist and a financial controllers, or you could be a technicians at one of our technology-based companies. But it should be all equal, and it should be treated yet equal. And the second part I mentioned is always important is kindness. We believe that to be kind to others is a very important part as well. We don't tolerate any violence. We don't tolerate any act of harassment or aggressiveness to other people. So we believe that we have to act at own time while in that environment that equal and kind. And the last part, I believe that everyone have a chance to grow. And I always keep talking in the DMG that if people enter the business at the age of 22, being just a young graduate, they should be able to grow between over 10 years to 35 to be a general manager. Everyone has same opportunities to get to a general manager.
Okay, so Heiko, I want to hear from you. Bosch or Bosch people in impact business, was it any different from a traditional business?
I would say I could agree really to a lot what Mr. Kieran said. And I also would like to highlight maybe the importance of people. The people, they are really the heart, soul and brain of the company. That's what you normally see, the machines in the buildings, they are maybe the muscles or the bones, or call it whatever you want. But the focus and the key are the people. And that's why you need really in an everyday basis, highly motivated, qualified persons who give really everything every day in the purpose of the company. And this is basically the task of human resource management. And that's why this function is so important for our company, and I think for every company in the world.
I would love to have more questions about this part because this is my favorite, but I cannot wait to ask you, what is the best initiative? What is the best program that you are so proud of when you're investing in people in your organization?
So, you know, in the 15 years that we operate here in Vietnam, I really believe that we implemented a holistic human resource management. I think a good example is the specific environment that we implemented at Bosch for our associates that provides an optimal conditions for self-development, but also providing a very good job. And this is also recognized by the professionals over the last years, since we were listed, I think, 7 years in a row as one of the best places in Vietnam to work. And another very important example that I would like to mention here is that we have multiple entrance opportunities and programs to enter Bosch. That addresses, for example, graduates from universities, but as well also school graduates who want to join basically the operational professional career. And there I would like to mention our industrial technical apprenticeship program that we operate here in Vietnam for almost 10 years now. It orients on the German standard with the dual principle. So that means a school graduate joins us for about 3 years. They receive a salary, But even more important, they receive state-of-the-art practical training in our training facilities in Dong Nai. And as well, with our partner Liliama too, we provide them a theoretically education, and this goes really hand in hand. And since this program is so successful, we can see in our statistics, for example, graduates from this technical apprenticeship program make faster career, take more responsibilities faster, and stay also longer with us. So the turnover rate is very, very low. And since it's still a unique program here in Vietnam, we try to promote this as soon as possible and have also an open ear for partners, for example, who want to join us in this program. So we as a company will receive very highly educated associates. The graduates, they are highly qualified, and in the end, it helps the society of Vietnam to step up and develop the workforce to reach the next level.
Wow. So that apprenticeship program seems to be really leading the way. It also makes you guys so confident and proud about what you do with your people.
Absolutely.
But I like what you said, and it's more like a holistic view from my perspective. You talk about an enabling environment. It's not just the program itself, but the environment where you created the favorable condition for everybody to grow. And that is something really important people to listen to. How about you, anh Kiên?
There were many things we have done over the last 28 years. When I started DMG, we had 3 staff. Before COVID, we got 7,500 people working for us. And that growth obviously contributed by many factors, and luck. But I think the biggest part were the people in the business. And obviously there were many things we have done right. But I would probably want particularly to mention 2 things today. First about is our Aspiring Leadership Program. We started that program around 15 years ago. And that's where we pick up people from a supervisor's position and train them in 18-month programs that we work together with Self-Visit and INSEAD to enable them with competencies that's important to become a manager, so that they would become the future general managers of the groups. And many people actually from a very, very humble background. They had grown to become a general manager who manage and run businesses with 1,000 people. A young gentleman who actually grew up from the poor region in Cambodia and grew to become a general manager of Cambodia, and then actually managing Laos, Hong Kong, and Japan. And now he even managing Portugal as part of his portfolio as well. We have a young girl in the Mekong Delta and never believed she could actually do well. Gone through the program, gone through the environment where after 20 years now, she runs the entire Southern Vietnam hotels for us, where she managing close to 1,000 staff. And then there were many nationalities working under her, from French to German to Indian, and a lot of many other managers as well. So this program has been a good success. We pick up the right people at the right time. Most of them would be entering the program when they were just under 30. And then probably by the time they come out, by the time they experience it at late 30, they will become a general manager. And then they will become a cluster general manager at mid 40. The second thing I would be very proud of, and the reason why, I think it's the main reason why people stick around with DMG. People often ask why people actually hang around with you guys for so long, especially through the hard times. The main thing was, again, just to make that very clearly stating what is the real culture of the business. And I refer back to the 3 key words I mentioned. The culture basing on health, kindness, and growth. And that culture of equality and making equalities is the most important sort of part of the culture, would help people to feel the place at work like a home, and where they actually can relate, trust, and grow with the business.
That's just really great. You really have the leadership program which focus on competence and how to make sure the leader truly do the leading role, and then you're creating the culture that's supporting with kindness, health, and growth to make sure everybody feel belonging. That will also lead me to a thought that based on what you're having so far with your approach in investing in people in your organization, what is the best come out of that program or that effort?
Obviously, DMG is one of the few Vietnamese companies that grow from a very, very humble beginning and be able to bring the Vietnamese brand to the rest of the world. It's not very often that a successful Vietnamese brand can go out of the country and be able to be succeeding in other countries as well. And I think we do have a strong team that behind what we're doing. And we continue to do that, striking through the COVID as well. And I'll give an example, through COVID, there were few industries in the world that have been impacted as much as our industry, because it worked from 1.4 billion people moving cross-border. In Vietnam, there were more than 19 million people traveling from overseas to Vietnam, and close to 82 million people traveling within Vietnam, and reduced to something less than 20 million in 2020 and 2021. Revenues grow in industry from 33 billion, dropped down to just a few billion. But we managed to actually done a lot of things through that as well, because I think the main thing was the people were enabled to make a lot of local decisions at the businesses, because when there were a lockdown, there were different kind of environment in different countries. We actually enable these people, and they're ready to take on leaderships. In fact, they become the CEO themselves. There were very few things they can't do, and that actually enabled us to be able to grab a lot more market shares. For example, our iView.com, this online platform, we used to be able to just grab about 6% of Vietnam market share, mostly because there were very strong competition from the like Booking.com and Agoda and Travelocas and a few other local. But during COVID, very few of them can serve customer well. iView.com is the only company that be able to continue serving customer, and as a result, our market share has grown to almost 22-23% of total domestic market share. And the second example of about empowering the leadership, we have this airline business, and before COVID, we were doing very badly. I think it's never make any money. The first time it ever make any money was during COVID, because two things will happen. First of all, we enable the team to make a decision on how to serve local and domestic market. And now scenic flight over Ha Long Bay would never been so busy. We're busy over time because people couldn't travel anywhere. And now they travel within Vietnam, and we change the target market from targeting tourists from overseas to targeting Vietnamese within Vietnam. And it was a huge success.
Wow, it's very impressive. I mean, during COVID and after everybody talking, complaining about difficulty, challenges, and you have so much to proud about. There's so many great things comes out of it.
Don't make me wrong. It's obviously hard time, right? It's hard time for everyone, and everyone actually having a very, very hard time. And industry is still suffering, and it takes many more years.
No, but that's what I'm saying. When you really investing in where you think is really important for your business, and you get the best out of it, and that's really a great thing that we want to hear, and it's really fitted in today. Thank you very much. There is great things come out with the great thing. That's why also I want to hear from you, Heiko, about what's the best thing, what's the great initiative that you enjoy, but how and what to make me proud, what to come out of it.
I mean, yeah, when we look in the 15 years that we're operating here in Vietnam, then we look back to a journey that was very successful, with very strong growth rates in all our sectors, manufacturing, research and development, and also services. And when we look back, for example, the first example is manufacturing. We started in 2008 a plant in a small rental place, grown a little bit to 500 associates, and we had something like 30 expats there. In a peak time, it was even 40 expats. And when we talk about today, we have more than 2,000 people working in this company, and we have just 5 expats in the meantime. Why is that? Because we invested in the people, in the local people. We want to run the Vietnamese operation with Vietnamese people. And this is really a big result of our human resource development management over the last 10 years now. Yeah? And the second point there, I would like to bring examples from our R&D and our software center. There we stepped up and are a global player in the network of Bosch, in the R&D and also in the software development. And this would not be possible, again, without a strong focus on our associates to go step by step ahead and achieve the level that we achieve today.
I would like to have come to the next question. but also regarding to what you just mentioned. Because when we talk about the great initiative, it should be coming out of some good reason why you start in the beginning. Of course, you don't know whether you truly been success. You cannot forecast that. But literally, when you see the importance of your people and then investing in them, in short, there are two challenges here. One we're seeing over the past 15 years we're studying is in Vietnam, it's hard for people to prioritize from what they're doing. The second is the teamwork. People working in silos is the challenge everywhere in every business. And those is the part of a challenge when dealing with, we're working on learning and development in quality. Do you have that kind of challenge at the workplace? And if you do, how you come over it?
I think we live in very volatile and challenging times. And it's almost impossible to predict very, very accurately what is happening in 1 year or even now in the next week. Yeah? Out of this situation, the requirement to the companies are coming up to be as flexible as possible. And we strongly believe that you can just be maximal flexible if you have empowered, educated, and also motivated associates. And I think a very good example that I can bring you is the COVID-19 pandemic that we all experienced here in Vietnam, with a very changing situation, with new regulations by the authorities who try to safeguard the society from the virus. And I'm pretty happy to say that with all our 4,000 associates in Vietnam, they stepped up and managed this crisis. And during this crisis, we didn't just survive, we overcame it successfully and kept also developing. And the biggest challenge that we faced during this COVID crisis was in our manufacturing plant in Long Tan. As you know, we had to apply there also a 3T model. That means that 900 associates had to work and live for 5 months in the plant. And you can imagine what a challenge that was for the whole organization team. We had to organize tents, we had to organize sanitary installations, leisure time activities, food, clothing, name it, really, really a lot of work. And we had to go through process by process to mitigate the risk that the virus comes to the plant as much as possible. And I'm pretty happy and proud to say that we mastered this challenge with all of our team. We kept manufacturing all the time and served our customers 100%. We had in the end and during the pandemic a very happy workforce. And in the end, the most important one, we had no serious health issues and everyone came successfully and healthy through this crisis. And such a great success, what was also awarded by the EuroCham Award for the best COVID-19 thank you very much, achievements. You cannot achieve something like this without good associates. You need, again, highly skilled, educated, empowered and motivated persons. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to achieve that. And thank God we had this already before the crisis, thanks to our human resource management already before. And again, this motivates us to do so in the future. And that's why I'm pretty relaxed and sleep very well when I look into the current crises, because I know that we have very good people at Bosch.
None of that I hear the word discipline or discretionary action that many manufacturing have to go through.
Right.
We have to make sure that the boss giving the order and then everybody have to comply. If somebody is not complying, you have punish. So just a little bit on that, if you may, because that's very interesting.
Yes, I mean, you got it very well, Ha. Due to the empowerment and the education of our associates, everyone understood the challenge by themselves and could address the challenges with own actions. That means we didn't have to go to every single associate in the company. They knew already better than I probably as a top manager to do what they have to do. And this was, I think, the secret of our success in this very challenging time.
That's really amazing. Thank you very much. Kian, you want to share with us?
Furthermore, I think what Heiko said is very interesting, and I think that also resonated very well with what DMG believe. And I think what we are good at, and we know that at a business we are very flexible, we're very adaptable, and we are very fast. Those are the key for the successes during COVID as well. But at the same time, I might also admit that there was certain foundation that where we had to make sure we built on that foundation. And obviously, it is the educated workforce, it is the environment that you feel empowered to make decisions for the best interest of the business at the time. Certainly, would be moving forward on, we will pay a lot more attention to health and to how to make sure that these society part of the businesses continue to be doing well among the associates. You can't just take care of the work environment, but the staff have to look taking care of the environment where our associates and their families live and the community where we are in, because we are all eventually part of this. And to come to the question about and the issue about how to train to achieve this kind of because it won't be able to train by just giving knowledge. And often an analogy I often refer to is you can talk very nice about how to play football.
Right.
And you can know exactly how to actually do a score and passing the ball from A to B. You can talk about it, but you would never be able to play if you just talk about and have a knowledge about it. And one of the main problems in our training at the moment is people focusing so much in the knowledge. So you got the point, but you don't really do it. So the focus, and exactly what you say, you have to choose among the list of 10 things to do 2 to 3 things, but do it really well and to be better. And that choices have to be made away in advance. And then the rest, make sure you practicing this to the point that you're getting way better.
So I want you to think and then answer me the question of why some other business don't invest. Think out of your status right now. Think of some people who don't have the mindset that you have right now. Why they don't invest in their people, and then what is the most important factor you think that drive you to make a decision in investing in your people?
First, I don't see a business that truly successful unless invested in their people. And that's one point. So unless they want to be very unsuccessful, you don't invest in those people. And the second thing is, I believe that the level of investment also reflective of the visions of the main stakeholders and the management team as well. And I think a lot of people, and they do think that they would continue, a lot of people now believe that we don't want to invest for long term because they will lose the workforce anyway, because they will go out and look for better job. We do have people leaving us, don't get it wrong. Our turnover rate is at the high in some business. In some pocket would be up to 50%. But typically in a normal year, we lose about 12% of our colleagues. And that is normal. But we believe that if we're investing on that, the remaining of the 98%, 90% of the people who stay would be way more important than worry that it will leave for us.
Thank you.
I mean, from my perspective, I think these companies are probably lacking. They're focusing on the business strategy, but they don't harmonize this with something like a human resource strategy. And both goes just hand in hand. The human resource strategy is the enabler for the business strategy. And I think a very good example is our current expansion in our software services here in Ho Chi Minh City. Our business strategy is with our Bosch Global Software Technologies. We want to create an innovation hub here in Vietnam for Bosch. So this is the business strategy. But how do we do this one? For example, implemented a second hub in Hanoi that we opened just last month in June 2022. And we expand basically our workforce in this area from roughly 2,500 to 6,000 in 2025. And I think this dimensions explains very clear that we just cannot hire some persons from the street. We need to take care already now to hire the right persons, to develop them, and to set them up to path that they are ready when this business takes place in some years. And I think this is probably the lagging of the companies who don't invest in human resource management enough.
Thank you, gentlemen. I just need to one very last question. And this is a bonus for any business who want to make impact just like you do. There's business out there, maybe they have not yet, but they have potential, or they really wanted to make impact just like you do. What is your piece of advice?
Well, first of all, I don't give advices because I know that people can only learn. Even with my teams, I don't advise them. Well, either I I give instruction or I make decision, and I tend to go for the second option that
All
make a
right.
decision. The third one is choose the industries that make impact, because you don't want to work with industries that have no impact or very little impact or bad impact. And the second thing is when they get to certain age, like my age, doing business for 20 some odd years and running it, it's important to do things you feel proud about it, with people you like to do it. That's all about environment. If you don't build a business that you feel proud about doing, and you don't work with people you like doing business with, it's a failure business. So just do it. It's truth point. Do a high impact industry, build a business that you're proud and you enjoy working with the team. And this is my true.
That's
piece of
amazing. That's
wisdom
simple,
from-
but it's really, really simple, but it's really work. Thank you so much. How about you, Heiko?
I mean, I just get advices when I also ask for. This is, I think, very keen. But in this case, my advice would be very clearly, and this is not a surprise, take care of the development of your talents. Don't rely on random development or getting always somebody hired from the market, because the market is limited. And we are talking about Vietnam, a great company with great people and a great potential. But this potential needs to be activated by developing the workforce. And I really believe this is the responsibility of every business leader like us to take care that the people of Vietnam can step up and compete internationally, also in future businesses and not just on the low-cost location topics. And if you cannot do this by yourself, then search partners like Bosch. Again, we have an open ear for some of our programs, and we apply the strategy also by ourselves. Like I mentioned, this theoretically training we don't give by ourselves, but by our partner Lila Matu, and this is just a great approach. So please take responsibility for you and your company and the society.
I think that we still have a lot of room to learn more from you and other successful business. But we would love to, have yours and listen more of your story later on. But thank you so much for being with us. We hope that would inspire you, all the business who want to transform your business into impact businesses. And don't forget to register for Impact Business Summit, Business as a Force for Good, which is organized in Ho Chi Minh City on September 22nd this year. We hope that you will be able to join us. Connect to more partners, accelerate your transformation journeys. Thank you, and we hope to see you again in 4th Impact Business Summit.